Plant-based MEG, he actually says, MEG, that's a key for IKEA's sustainable production. And we continue our show with our next guests. And meanwhile, you have been sitting here at the table, GJ Gruter and Kees de Gooijer. You have joined me. Very Dutch names, but obviously we're going to address you in English for our international audience. You know everything about the technology and you know a lot about the bio-based economy. So good to have both of you here. GJ, Ray Technology, that brings a new technology into the market that can actually accomplish something in one step that most other companies need 4 steps for. How have you managed to make it that quick and easy? Are you a genius or something?
Yeah, so the current commercial bio-based MEG indeed uses 4 steps, and that is because they combined 2 existing technologies. One to make ethylene from ethanol, and the other technology is to make MEG from ethylene, which is the way it's currently produced from fossil naphtha. And that sounds logical, but in a way they take all the oxygen out in 2 steps and then they put it back in 2 steps. But if you look at a sugar molecule, then you can already see the structure of MEG in the sugar molecule. So we developed a technology to cut the sugar molecule in a very selective way to make MEG in 1 step.
So you go straight at it.
You go straight at it.
Grab it
exactly.
out.
Yeah.
But is that so unique? Why didn't?
Well, to do that in a selective way is really unique, and that's where we said if we can do it in one step, that also means 1 plant instead of 4 plants. Then we should be cost competitive not only with the biomeg that's out there today, but also with the MEG from fossil feedstock.
And what's the opportunity? Obviously, we just heard that IKEA would be very interested in this. What's the opportunity for plant-based MEG?
Well, you heard also from Zena that this is a very fast-growing market.
Yeah.
And then we only talk about PET, and I think polyesters are really very logical molecules to make in the future because they are obviously the best to recycle. They contain a lot of oxygen, which also is the case in the feedstock, in the sugars. So there will be a huge growth in this area. And then we are also developing our own PEF, which also requires MEG. So we think this is really an interesting growth market for us.
So to make these bottles, but also
textiles.
Yeah.
So polyester textile.
Yeah.
Is mainly PET, that's the biggest outlet for PET. Also all contain MEG as one of the 2 components.
Yeah. And those are very, very easy to wash on low temperatures, which is also good for the environment. I happen to know these things. Kees, why is this technology more sustainable than, for instance, fossil-based? And maybe this sounds like a silly question, but we just heard Paul say that these sugar beets or oil is originally developed through plants.
Yeah.
So why do we always say that that's not good? Because that's, well, in a way, renewable. You know, it takes 1 million years. But
well, Paul said it
more,
perfectly. It takes a couple of 100 million years to make that stuff again, those fossil compounds, gas, oil and coal, by the way. It's all the same material.
Oh.
And it came from an era where it was pretty good to live on the planet, but it was like 8 meters of seawater here and very hot.
Oh.
And that's the climate change that we are facing again, and we don't want to happen again. So stay put from oil, gas and coal and start using short-cycled carbon. That's exactly what's going on here.
Yeah. So what is the importance, you would say, of these bio-based ways of producing?
Well, the importance, if we don't start doing it, it won't happen. You know, you can do it in the lab and a lot is done and a lot is in literature. But to make it happen in real life is a different thing.
And when you say if we don't do it, it won't happen, that sounds a little ominous. Does it mean because the planet will vanish, or?
No, it will not. The planets will stay there in its orbit, but probably without us.
It's a very chemical process that you have developed, and somehow bio-based and a chemical process, that sounds like a contradiction.
Yeah, it may sound so because bio and organically and it all is so
yeah, we're all
nice.
chanting in the forest, right?
Yeah, but look at those bottles. You know, those molecules don't have memory. So it's basically you need proper, good, solid chemistry to make anything. And then the origin is plant-based doesn't matter really. Yeah, for the environment, but not for the chemical.
Yeah, and if it matters for the environment, it actually matters a lot for us. We
Exactly.
have heard that from you. Thank you so much for joining me here.